Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Davitt. Welcome you to a brand new Degrassism. It could be an unpopular opinion, but I've already done the 200 episode Degrassi Unpopular Opinions thing. So, anyway, this is basically a video called, well, the first video would be, so you want to talk about Radish. How about this? So, you want to talk about Emma's mistakes. So, anyway, this is a video talking about what I think was Emma's biggest mistake on the show, and that was being with Peter in season 5. Now, there were a lot of many mistakes that Emma made in the first 9 seasons of the show, but the fact of the matter is, her being with Peter in season 5 was just the worst of the worst, and it changed her character in a way that we didn't like. So, anyway, let's go with a background of Emma. Emma in season 1, first episode, was wanting to be with a guy named Jordan who said that her environmental causes were helping him out. So she figured that she would meet up with Jordan and all that and all that. But then in a hotel room, it's revealed that Jordan is a middle-aged man who basically wanted to take advantage of Emma. Fortunately for Emma, Manny, JT, and Toby band together and help out by getting Snake and Spike involved, and they save Emma from being sexually abused. Of course, this was catfishing before catfishing was in the popular lexicon, and so Emma is told to talk to Spike about anything and everything, and Emma promises to. Of course, she doesn't. And then her in season 1, Emma's first major story. I don't know if that was first, but like anyway, when Manny tries out for the Spirit Squad, Emma's not so infused, saying that Spirit Squad is just sexist. However, Paige says that we're going to have boys on the team, but that's not what Emma is thinking. Sexism and gender thing are different. It's not about the gender; it's about the fact that cheerleaders are made to be bimbos and all that. Emma writes a scathing editorial in the newspaper, school paper, the Spirit Squad, fearing that this would ruin them, decide to tear it up and all that. Emma complains about it. But of course, Emma tries to reason with Manny and all that. It could have been jealousy, it could have been other factors, but Emma doing that campaign was just one of the worst matters ever. And then Liberty being consoled by Coach Armstrong, Emma takes it as a bad sign. But Emma confides in Manny, and Manny says it's probably just nothing. But unbeknownst to Emma, Terry and Hazel hear about it and spread the rumors and all that. And Armstrong's investigated by Radish, although Emma decides to come to Armstrong's aid. Saves the butt. Liberty's not too pleased with Emma because she could have ruined his career. And it was found out that he was consoling her because of the whole thing with her dyslexia. No, dyscalculia, excuse me, about having troubles with math and all that. And basically tells Emma, go back to saving the environment because you're a bad friend. Like, Emma had it in her head that she was scared that Liberty was being taken advantage of by Armstrong. Like, she confided in Manny and it was just spread out. The fact of the matter is that Emma is blamed for this and shouldn't be completely blamed. I mean, she told Manny in secret. And like Emma probably would have thought if it was nothing, then Emma would have shrugged it off. But of course, we all know that Emma was catfished and all that. And she could have told Liberty that she was just fearful that Liberty was going to get the treatment that Emma got. So anyway, yeah, season 1, she's with Sean, and then Sean breaks up with her by accidentally pushing her during an argument with Jimmy. Season 2 is when Emma became unbearable. Okay, first of all, she wanted to be with Craig and helped Craig deal with his dad and all that. Thanks to her intervention, talking to Joey and all that. People were thinking that Emma wanted to be with Craig. Craig chose Manny over Emma, and Emma was shocked. She was visibly upset. More so upset that her mom would be dating her teacher, as Snake and Spike would hook up. I mean, Emma, personally, to me, it's like, why would she, um, well, she would freak. I mean, why would you want your mom dating your teacher? So then you got yourself the fact that Emma tries to prevent it, but then she relents and lets Spike and Snake have a relationship. Spike ends up being impregnated by Snake, and Emma says that's good news because Emma wanted a sibling. But Spike said, I don't want to make a second mistake, and that blows Emma sky high. Never mind that her hair got ruined. There was a bad cake, and Sean was coming to the wedding, even though that Sean and Emma had some issues with each other. She didn't know what to do. Manny tells her that everything will be fine in the morning, but Emma sneaks out, goes to Joey's house to talk to Snake about Spike being pregnant and wanting to abort the baby. Snake interferes and basically tells Spike, I'm glad somebody was an adult about the situation. That was Emma. And it almost ruined Snake and Spike's wedding. Emma realizes that, but thankfully, though, they do get married and do want to keep the kid. So Emma dodges a bullet. And then, of course, later on would be the fight for your rights thing, in which she does a genetically modified foods presentation to Raj saying that, GMO foods are terrible and all that. Non-GMO foods could be low. Had it with a tomato. And Radish basically said they made a good presentation, but unfortunately for them, he doesn't have much money in the budget. And like students don't know much about budgets and all that. I can give Emma a bit of a pass, but the fact of the matter is that she overreacted in a sense. And Raj threw the book at her. Well, she passes out flyers. Raj takes them away. She is willing to wave the white flag, and then that commercial mocking her basically gets Emma all fired up, and she wants to do something. She accidentally starts the food fight in the hallway, and Raj thinks that Emma's flyers were the cause of it, but no, it was just bad luck. Emma's forced to leave for the rest of the day. She sits in on Snake's class, and Snake shoos her away. She finally relents. Then she protests away from school grounds. Raj still takes offense to her and basically tells her off. Saying, you will apologize for everything that happens today, or you will face a lengthy suspension. Emma doesn't know what to do. Snake says that, as an educator, I can't do much about it, but as a parent, I'm all for what you're doing. So she writes on cue cards her apology, gives them to Raj. Raj approves of it, and then goes on to apologize for the food fight. But then she says that my rights were trampled on for free speech, and if it means a lengthy suspension, so be it. And of course, Raj looks protrude and all that. More so, I think, for Emma basically telling the school about Raj's plan and all that. I think that was more of that problem. Season 3, she has to deal with Chris, and she wants to be with Chris after Sean and her have another bad relationship, bad breakup because of Jay and the freaking Candy Bandits. So anyway, yeah, Sean and Emma basically want to hurt each other in a sense. Sean steals the laptop, Snake's laptop, to get back at Emma, even though that Snake had leukemia and all that, and it wouldn't be good for him. Like Emma wanted to get Sean into trouble the biggest way possible for stealing stuff, and Sean and Jay did steal stuff, but they couldn't track it down. So Sean basically tells Raj off. Raj slaps Sean with 8 weeks of detention, and Emma thinks that this was perfect. However, Chris calls Emma out on her bullshit and all that. But fortunately, Emma and Chris stay alive. And then basically, Emma has her problems with Manny trying to sexualize herself. Like, Emma's trying to prevent Manny from bad stuff. Like, I can understand Emma's POV, but she's got it all wrong. She has good intentions, but bad execution. So after a rave gone wrong, they break off as friends, and Manny ends up pregnant. Emma advises Manny, you should probably get an adoption and all that. Carry it, and then an adoption agency will help. Of course, Manny doesn't feel that way and wants to abort the baby. Emma then tells Craig, after Craig tries to tell Manny off, saying that I agree with you, Craig, for everything, but it's her body and her choice. And if she wasn't my friend, I'd be furious. Manny, of course, is shocked that Emma would protect her. So basically, Manny decides to forgive Emma in effect. And Emma had a point. She could be pro-choice and help her, but help her best friend. So in a sense, that was shocking. Season 4 was when Emma lost her friend group because of some pettiness. I'll get to it when I get to my main topic at hand. Um, well, actually, yeah, the main topic at hand is the season 5 thing, and it does have something to do with season 4. So follow me on this. So season 4, Emma wants to prevent Chris from dating Liberty because it would look bad on Emma. But how? Like, so what? How does Emma think? It's like, why does Emma think other people care about what people other people think of her? Because of her causes and all that, she didn't really care about what people thought. So anyway, she gets her plan told to Liberty, and basically Liberty and Manny break off from Emma. Emma's all by herself. She draws herself near Paige's friend group to get rid of Rick because Rick's allowed back at school with no consequences after what he did to Terry. Unfortunately, there was no police report and all that, and Raj couldn't do much. I mean, the school board probably told them to allow him back. But there was nothing wrong with Rick starting at a new school. But the fact of the matter is that, Emma clung on to the campaign to get rid of Rick and then figured she would get a new friend group and she didn't need Liberty and May. So she does the Orange Ribbon campaign. The students take it the incorrect way. Emma was hoping to help domestic violence victims and all that. Of course, having the hidden agenda of trying to find a friend group after Manny and Libby leave her, and another hidden agenda about Radich, because Radich told Emma to stay out of this mess. It's not one of your stupid crusades. Well, you just triggered Emma, and she probably just wanted to stick it to Radich like she did in the Fight for Your Right thing. Unfortunately, though, when she sees the damage it's doing to Rick, and the students don't care about the cause, they just want to beat up on Rick, she protects Rick, and everyone ignores her. So she's only hanging out with the quiz bowl team of Toby, Rick, and Hedda Sinclair before she gets mono. Maybe by Craig, maybe not. But anyway, she's out, and Jimmy has to sneak in, who is one of Rick's tormentors. Emma sees that Toby is hurt and realizes that they're going to go after Toby to get to Rick. Well, Rick realizes that too. That's why Rick and Jimmy are best friends again, are best friends, and pissing off Spinner, Jay, and Alex, the true bullies. So Emma is on the quiz team and all that. Rick makes bad passes at her and whispers, "This is for you." When he does the tie break, he wins, but he gets painted and feathered by everything, and everyone laughs at him. Emma tries to calm him down. Rick kisses her. She tells him, "Why did you do that?" "Because I thought you loved me. I pitied you. Get a clue." And then the next time Emma feels Rick's presence is when Rick, after shooting Jimmy, conveniently finds Emma with Sean and Toby and basically wants to ruin Emma for spurning him. Sean does the right thing by saving Emma from the gun, and Emma is shocked and all that and doesn't understand why this happened. She goes to Wasaga Beach with Sean on the Monday after the shooting and all that, and is shocked when Sean leaves. You could tell that Emma wanted a boy and wanted Sean because Sean stood in the way of a gun and protected her from a gun. I mean, what girl wouldn't think that way? If Toby was that way, maybe she felt for Toby and give Toby a good storyline. Of course, Sean leaves for Wasaga. Emma gives off this vibe of I'm fine, but then she's not. She's failing in subjects or all that. She doesn't have friends over. Spike and Snake figured that having the gun in her face just changed her. Emma tries to prove them all wrong and then goes to the ravine with Jay to try to get herself normal, but it just gets her gonorrhea. And the school ignores her as per usual. And Emma realizes she screwed up. And then the rest of season 4, Emma's trying to fix herself up, but she doesn't get a lot of stuff. And then comes season 5 and being with Peter. Remember, season 5, the first scene was her talking to Manny about Peter. It says that he's the first boy she's loved ever since Hurricane Sean blew through her emotional trailer park. Which means that, in season 4, she wanted to be with Sean, and basically, he left her, and Ellie for that matter, to go back to Wasaga. And Emma felt terrible. But Peter has eyes on Manny. Manny wants desperately for Peter to be with Emma, but it doesn't work out that way. Peter films Manny topless and all that, and drunk, and then blackmails Manny for 3K for a new camera. Manny decides to try to get the $3,000 for the. She was going to get plastic surgery for her acting career, but she cancels it. But it goes back on her dad's credit card, and basically she can't get the $3,000. So Peter basically distributes the video to everyone in school. Manny is slut shamed in a sense. Emma goes after Manny, not because of the video, but because it was at Peter's house, and says, "How dare you try to steal my man? Emma, it's not that way." And of course, Emma gets it all wrong again, jumps to conclusions. Fortunately, though, she does see the error of her ways, and after learning Manny get taken out of her house by her father, she decides, why not? I might as well take Manny in and make things right and all that. And then they both feel that Peter is scum. The problem is that they had no clue that Peter was Hatzelackos' son until Hatzelackos admonishes Peter near the end of the episode. And Emma and Manny look at each other like, did you know he was her kid? No. Who's the father? Satan. So basically, Emma and Manny are together and all that. They both want to go after Peter for what he did to Manny, but well, revenge porn was set up. Like Emma was going to do the right thing by revenge porning on Peter so that she could help Manny out. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't work out that way, and Emma gets wooed by Peter's shirtless pics and also easily manipulated by Peter that Manny's the bad guy in this situation. Peter crying crocodile tears and Emma taking pity on him. So she decides to date Peter in secret because she doesn't want Manny to know. And when she dates Peter in secret during the Degrassi Goes Hollywood movie, no, the Jay and Silent Bob Hollywood movie, they accidentally get towards Snake and Hatzelackos sharing a kiss and all that. And Emma feels compelled to tell the truth and all that, despite Snake saying, no, don't do that. Emma does tell the truth, but Spike is more ticked off that Snake was trying to put pressure on Emma to lie than anything else. Emma has to pick up the slack in the house. She tries her best, but she starts to get, very moody within herself. She's not doing well in school. She's like keeping the secret of dating Peter and all that. And then when Manny tells Emma that she needs to lose weight for a role, Emma tries to help her out. Unfortunately, Emma joins up with Manny for the weight loss thing just to do something about it. And then all of a sudden, Emma felt great and she was in control of herself. Manny stops the weight loss because it's dangerous and hurting on Emma and all that. And then turns out Emma's eating disorder. And Emma finally decides to blurt out that she's with Peter, which is shocking to everybody and all that. But Peter does show a good sign and tells Manny that he's worried about Emma. They stage an intervention. Emma blows off of everybody, calling Manny a drunk chick, somebody who takes advantage of a drunk chick to Peter, and yells at Snake for taking advantage of it with his mom. I think she probably would have went after Spike too, but didn't. And then she decides to throw Manny out for blurring the secret. But then she has a panic attack and is put to the hospital. She's told to deal with her eating disorder, which Emma does, and she looks prettier than ever. She's with Peter, and all of a sudden, the relationship is fine until Sean pops up in the picture in season 6 and practically decides to cause friction in the Emma Peter relationship. Emma doesn't give a straight answer who she would rather be with, Peter or Sean, and so Peter takes it upon himself to get rid of Sean by, you know, putting the drugs in Sean's locker, getting him expelled, getting Emma to be on his side, and practically getting rid of Sean. Sean then decides to challenge Peter for a street race, probably for Emma's heart and all that. They get involved. Sean hits a pedestrian, wants to stay and help the pedestrian, but well, Peter's there too, but also Jay tells Sean that, as an adult, you're going to get in trouble, so you need to run. So Sean flees, wants to hide in Emma's place, but Emma tells Sean to confess to the cops and all of that. But I mean, Emma had to because Emma could have been in trouble for harboring a fugitive and got herself in trouble. But the simple fact is that, Sean goes to jail. Emma's still with Peter. Everyone is upset. Manny and Jay decide to try to talk some sense into Emma about the whole situation, saying Peter's the bad guy in this situation. Sean hit a pedestrian. But Jay, you're the one who told Sean to leave the scene of an accident. Like, he would have helped, and Sean would have been in less trouble than he really was. I'm surprised that Sean didn't just, tell on Jay. But then, of course, the relationship breaks off with the fact that, Peter puts a mask in Em's locker without knowing her combination, or so she thought. But he knows because of his mom's cheat sheet, and basically said that I did it for the relationship to get rid of Sean. Emma then turns on Peter and goes towards Sean. Peter probably cries crocodile tears to get out of more trouble. And, he starts going for Darcy. The point I'm trying to make is that for all of Emma's mistakes, and then, after Emma and Peter broke off, Emma had her guilty, angry phase when JT got stabbed at a party that she and Manny threw that for Libby's birthday that got out of hand, and Lakehurst decided to stab JT and kill him. I think in a sense that Emma felt horrible about what happened and that it was easily avoidable. It was. And Emma's guilt manifested itself into being a dick to Manny, to the school, to Snake even. Like, I don't condone Emma's behavior. Like, Emma had an understanding. Like, she had to feel bad about the fact that JT died steps from her house and all that. She had to feel horrible. And she felt like she was going to lose Manny as an ally because Emma needed Manny more than Manny needed Emma. I think, in a sense, Emma was trying to be with Manny so that, Manny can save Emma from herself post shooting, post Rick Murray, and all of that. So they patch things up nicely. Emma is just upset that Manny's moving out and doesn't know how to tell her. And, the guilt manifested itself into we almost saw Lakers Degrassi War Part 2, and Emma would have been in deep trouble. Then, of course, season 7, Emma decides to enter a relationship with Damien. Well, she's still with Sean, but then they broke off because, Sean went to the army, and Emma felt betrayed that Sean wouldn't correspond with her. So she finds out to Damien, but she lets Damien get in her head with a normal comments and that she's just bland. And Emma takes that to heart and says, I can do that. And it does the purple dragon to prove everyone wrong that she was predictable. But of course, she was going to go down that path of being a model and lose weight. But then she realized she couldn't be that person and then, ripped Purple Dragon apart, making her the true Emma that we all knew and kind of hate, kind of love, whatever. And then when she goes to college, well, she lost Damien because Damien wanted to be with Liberty. But Emma basically said that Damien was the bad guy and let it all go. So then she goes to college with Manny and Liberty and fixes it that they're roommates and all that. Well, Manny and Emma were supposed to be roommates, but they botched it. And then, everyone thought that she wanted Manny and Liberty in the same room. But Emma wanted Manny. Liberty was just a bystander, if you will. And then they all worry about Emma not letting things go, but Emma tries to do things. Emma tries to, fix problems with friends because of the fact that, she is told she's bland and vanilla and blonde, even though Emma says, I'm not that blonde. And then she tries to fix things by serving a pot brownies to make herself popular with Kelly's friend group. Unfortunately, one of the girls has an epileptic seizure while high, and the school freaks out and then just basically destroys Kelly after Kelly was trying to flush the evidence. Emma wanted to confess her role, but Kelly says, no, you're going to get expelled. Emma then basically stays with Kelly, and then season 9, the facade has cracked. Emma and Kelly are really fighting. They're doing a project, but Kelly's dad wants him to get a real job. And so Kelly takes the offer back to the Yukon for dad's consulting company, mostly because Emma and stop beeping. because Emma was controlling towards him. I mean, Emma had her reasons to control Kelly. Kelly left. Emma was all alone because Manny and Liberty left the dorm too. Like Manny was going to be an actress and Liberty went to pre-law, so Emma was practically by herself. And I don't know if the college wanted to move people into Emma's place. Emma was all by herself. And then, Emma flunks out, saying that she was chasing friends instead of grades. Yeah, for all of Emma's mistakes and all that, and marrying Spinner, let's not forget that, is the big problem with Peter. I go through Emma's like mistakes and all of that to highlight the point that she's made many mistakes in her life on the Degrassi show. But being with Peter has got to be number one because, and that was the change of character. That was the jump the shark characteristic with Emma, was being with Peter. So practically, I'll give you my take after I talk to comments. So there were some Emma comments. Actually, there was a Reddit post 10 days ago, and this is being taped on June 16th for context. Is that Help Meh said Peter sucked for what he did to Manny, but can we talk about the betrayal of Emma dating him right after he did it? This person put, Manny didn't even get to be mad at Emma because Emma's anorexia happened at the same time. That just shows how good of a friend she was for putting that aside to support Emma. She looked past her beef with Peter because he was there for Emma. Manny deserved better. I would never date a guy that sent an entire school of my best friend's nudes. Not to mention that he took advantage of her while he filmed it in the first place and tried to blackmail her with it. Emma, this man didn't even want you until Manny rejected him. Ugh. This man didn't even want you. To that, I just basically said, this man didn't even want you. Yeah, until Manny rejected him. But then she goes after, I don't think Peter wanted to be with Emma. A lot of people say all that. Um, Someone said, part of me thinks that Emma was okay with dating Peter because somewhere in her spirit mind, she was also partially blaming Manny for what happened to her. Yeah, she had a habit of blaming Manny for trying to be sexualized and all that. Yeah, a lot of things with the betrayal. A lot of people practically said that, he had no interest in Manny and treated her like a backup when he couldn't get the Manny. No interest in Emma. Yeah, a lot of people were basically saying that, it's all that and everything. Well, Fever Dream said, something I wondered about is whether or not the show itself wanted us to see Emma as a bad person. Objectively, she did horrible things to her female friends and was constantly talking out both sides of her mouth about what she believed in. But I'm not sure the show itself really had anyone acknowledge that or make Emma face any consequences. The cast all did things that sucked because that's part of growing up, but Emma never had to rethink herself or her actions very much. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, a lot of people said that this was constantly Emma being bad friend to Manny. Season one, instead of being encouraging and happy for Manny wanting to preach out and try out for Spirit Squad, Emma got jealous, mean, and shit all over it and called Manny fake. But did the same shit later on. Not Spirit Squad specifically, but choosing Paige's attention over Manny and being nasty about it, and then slut shaming Manny. All that. But then I wrote that when they chose Paige's affection over Manny, she did have no friends because Manny and Liberty bumped her off for what she was trying to do with Chris. And then she felt like she needed to go into Paige's social circles to belong and all that. Yeah, so she's kind of a hypocrite and all that. Um, I made a point about that. Now my statement to Helma was chalk this up to the shooting in season 4 and Emma's need for a boyfriend. And I said, here's why. Emma was pining for Sean after he saved her from Rick's gun, was upset when he left for Wasaga, and expressed herself in the season 5 premiere when she was first interested in Peter, saying that he was the first boy that she liked since Hurricane Sean blew through her emotional trail park. This line tells us that Emma wanted to be with Sean, but that he didn't consider her emotions. She probably wanted a boy to protect her from another Rick type. I felt like she was easy prey. What Peter did was inexcusable with Manny, and Emma, as per usual, jumped the gun with her assumptions till she needed to save Manny from a bad situation. Let's not forget that Emma was going to revenge porn Peter to help Manny, then felt like she was wooed by his pics and was easily manipulated by Peter blaming Manny for things. Emma bought into it. Emma still had unresolved issues from the Rick situation when she included her need to belong, as she was friendless and dateless. And the rhetoric was there till season 9. And Helma said, yeah, I liked your analysis, but, I didn't like she was necessarily lying when she told Manny she was going to get revenge. And then it was like, hold on, I never thought of that. When Helma said she was probably not wanting to revenge for Peter, but she wanted to see Peter and put the guise of helping Manny out there. That could be true. Anyway, I also asked in the Reddit community a couple of posts about this video. And then I put Emma being with Peter was terrible, but how come we didn't get any insight in how Hatzlackles felt about the pairing? I mean, she must have thought something was there with Emma and Peter. How did they manage to be in secret without Hatzlackles knowing? I mean, Emma must have been over to her house to talk to or be with Peter. Am I missing a narrative? One person said Hatzlackles was probably fine with them dating because Emma was a good kid and thought that she would be a good influence on him. But nothing else materialized. And also, OK Manufacturer said, I think Emma getting with Peter was her finally getting chosen, if that makes sense. She always wanted Peter, and he chose Manny first. Then she gets picked and disregarded her morals and what he did to her best friend. And then someone said she barely acknowledged that Peter filmed a drunk Manny and shared the video. When Sean returned, she was more than happy to sneak off and make out with him. But when Peter planted drugs in Sean's locker and Sean went to jail, she turned her back on him. She judged Manny for getting an abortion, just unsupportive. True. But here's the narrative. Here's my narrative. Is that the Rick situation in season 4 changed Emma's character. This is the main sentence I'm going to say. This is going to be a key sentence. Listen, if I can get the sentence right. The Emma we know from seasons 1 to 3.5 would never, ever be with Peter in season 5. Emma, for how bad she was with causes and getting in people's business and all that, we would have preferred to see that Emma in the Peter situation instead of the Emma that we saw. Simply put, like, Emma was all for rights and all that. Emma would never have allowed herself to be with a guy like Peter. She would have fixed the situation up, helped Manny out, destroy Peter, and become a good friend. But something's changed in Emma, and the writers just basically dropped the ball. The fact of the matter is that Emma did some poorest choices in her life, and this was the worst one. And this also proves that Emma was a changed person, not for the best. Everyone was tired of the same old Emma crap with her causes and overreacting to things and sticking her nose into things. The Emma we saw in the Peter situation was not like that. Emma was happy to be with Peter. She was controlling towards Manny. I don't doubt that one freaking bit. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, Emma changed her views. She changed her morals and all that. She wasn't the same Emma that she was the first 3 seasons, 3+ seasons. When Manny and Liberty dumped her off for the Chris plot, which Emma deserves, remember. Emma decided to slide into Paige's group to try to belong and to stick it to Manny and Liberty, saying, "You dumped me off. I don't need you." But then Paige's group dumps her off because of her protecting Rick when they took the Orange Ribbon campaign not the way Emma wanted it to be. And Emma did the Orange Ribbon campaign. She should get fault for that. But Emma had no clue, no foresight that the students were going to use the Orange Ribbon campaign as a plot to destroy Rick and to get back at the faculty for ignoring their cries for help, which was the stupidest thing around. It's not just Raditch that screwed up, it was the faculty themselves. Snake even admitted it. But the faculty screwed up, and that's why mob mentality and mob justice happened. And Emma thought this was a noble cause. And remember, when Rick tried to give her the check, she was thinking about the cause. She wasn't thinking about Rick at all. She was happy to take the money and maybe forgive Rick. But, Alex rips their check up. Emma was a lost soul after the Rick situation. I mean, come on. You had a guy point a gun at you almost point blank, about to off you. He finds you conveniently. He gets mad that you spurned his advances, quote unquote. And Sean fought for the gun, and Sean managed to save Emma and all that. And Emma had trouble processing what the heck happened to her. People knew that Emma bounced back every so often. Everyone, including Perino, knew that Emma bounces back, but Emma didn't. She just couldn't. Spike and Snake were shocked that Emma was not the same person. The fact of the matter is that Emma, at the end of season 4, didn't really get major storylines after the gonorrhea thing. Practically, I think she got her friends back somehow, but then she was practically ignored. I think the students just didn't want to care about Emma because of all the problems she supposedly caused in season 4. When you look at it this way, is Emma a top 5 villain? No. In the Rick situation, no. Rick is number 1 for what he did, shooting Jimmy and all that. Jay and Spinner are terrible pricks that, Jay had no empathy towards the Terry situation. Spinner at least did, but what he did to Jimmy was wrong. Alex is a prick because of her being a bully, despite the fact that we would have sympathized with her because, her mother was put in bad situations and she could have helped. And of course, Raditch is definitely top 5 for being the faculty member, being the be all end all, and he didn't do a damn thing to help the students out. That's why the students took the Orange Ribbon campaign and mob mentality. There's no other way to explain it. But what I'm trying to spin my wheels about with this situation is that, yes, Emma, this was one of the worst things Emma could have done. I mean, be with a guy who put your best friend in a bad situation, but maybe in the back of Emma's head, she's happy because now that Manny now lives with Emma, Emma can control Manny, and if Manny says one word about stuff, then Emma can basically push her to the curb and all that, saying that I have control over you. This was not the Emma we all know and kind of like. The fact of the matter is that Emma was just being a little more self-serving. Yeah, she was being self-serving, but there was also the underlying need for acceptance with a boy and friends, especially with a boy. Sean left her to go to Wasaga Beach. Sean, I don't think, even corresponded with Emma and all that, and Emma felt betrayed. Never mind the fact that Sean was with Ellie at the time. Emma felt betrayed. The simple fact is that Emma's need for a boyfriend was huge. I mean, look at it after Peter. Season 6, she's with Sean. Well, she was with Sean to probably get revenge for Peter. So she's with Sean, and then Sean leaves for the army, and Emma feels embarrassed. And then they do. She says she doesn't get correspondence from Sean, so she's waiting for him. And then Damien pops up in the picture, and so she's like, "I'm not waiting any longer. I'm going to be with Damien. I could tell Sean off." And then Sean pops up for one episode. But then Damien leaves Emma for Manny. I mean, for Liberty, and Emma moves on. She finds Kelly. She's obsessed with Kelly. She pushes Kelly and he's controlling. Yes, she is. And Kelly leaves her, and then she finds nobody, and then she finds Spinner unexpectedly. But let's look at the friend thing too. Is that Emma was basically friendless by the time that Rick had the gun to her head, and she wanted to fix things, but it didn't work out that way. So in my mind, in my pretty little mind, is that Emma wanted to cling on to Manny as a friend. She wanted Manny because she's like, she didn't have the friend that would have helped her out with the Rick situation and all that. She felt betrayed and alone. And with Manny, she was like, I can control Manny because I need Manny. And Manny did good things. Her mental health wasn't all there, but helping Emma was good. Manny was the better friend to Emma, and we all know that. That's not a popular opinion. That's a popular opinion. So basically, yeah, Emma did a lot of horrible stuff in her career on Degrassi. But the fact of the matter is that dating Peter was a scummy move. It was all thanks to her need to be accepted as a friend and a boyfriend, and a girlfriend, that made her do what she did. And fight me on it. Just fight me on it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.